In today's Leeds news, Academy View, Carlos Corberan sounded out by Leeds, players want Big Sam, Wober and Cooper predicted to stay, Somerville lined up to move, new deals and clauses, Radrizzani Statement, and Andrea Radrizzani used Elland Road to secure Sampdoria buyout. Morning, folks. Jay here on the 1st of June, and lots has happened this morning and last night. I'm not going to change the format of the news just because Andre Radrizzani is doing stuff we shouldn't be doing, but we'll get to him at the back end of this if you're interested on it. But I want to go through the good stuff that's going on at Leeds as well as the potentially negative stuff. So we'll start off this, we'll fly through it, and we'll see how we go. We'll start off with the Academy View. So there's a couple of updates from the underage setup at Leeds that I wanted to bring everyone up to date with. And we'll start off with this. Diego Monteiro has been named in the Portugal squad. Congrats to Diego Monteiro, who has been named in the Portugal under-18 squad for their upcoming tournament games against Australia, Norway, and England. Fair play to him. Luca Thomas received the under-18 top goal scorer award and goal of the season awards yesterday. Chris Klassen and Leo Hjelde have been called up by the Norway under-21 squad for their Euro under-21 friendlies. Scott Godden has been called up for the Wales under-19 squad for their game against Sweden. Charlie Allen has received the Leeds United under-21 Players Player of the Year award. Congratulations to Charlie. Darko JB has received the 22-23 under-21 Goal of the Season award as well. JB and Joseph did play in England's game last night. They lost, unfortunately, and may be heading out of their tournament and coming back to England a bit quicker than they thought they would. But both players have done what they can and have represented England very well. So congratulations to both of them. Let's move on to potential manager acquisitions, signings, whatever we want to call it. And Carlos Corebran looks like he's being sounded out by Leeds United, which I personally am quite happy with, as you all know. According to the Mirror, Leeds plan to sound out Carlos Corebran. Corebran, his name's popped up. Some of the fans really keen on it, some not so much. It's hard to deny what he's done in the Championship, though. However, he did take Huddersfield to the playoffs, and as soon as he left Huddersfield, they found themselves in a relegation battle this season. And he took West Brom from the bottom four to just missing out on the playoffs at the back end of the season. He is held in very high esteem, according to this article, by Leeds. And he does have a release clause, which we mentioned yesterday in his contract. That release clause now looks to be in and around £2 million mark. And it says Leeds are keen to speak to Corebran about the role at Elland Road. It also pointed out this morning that the West Brom CEO has announced that he is resigning from the club and leaving the club. So there might be a little bit of upheaval there, which might help Leeds to get Corebran should they actually want to get Corebran. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Players want Big Sam, and according to an article in The Sun, so pinch of salt, Leeds players are keen on Big Sam to stay on next season. What they say in the article is that the players, he made an impression on the players and they were keen to see him stay on. The quote says, Sam Allardyce managed Leeds for just 4 games, but if the players have their way, he will continue. Given on what happened this season with that squad of players, I wouldn't be likely to give them what they want. They've had enough of what they want this year. Leeds need to focus on what they need, and probably a better modern manager is needed at Leeds. Anyway, moving on to players that could potentially stay in. Some big news here. Liam Cooper is 100% ready to stay at Leeds United, according to Graham Smith this morning. And he also says that Max Wober could also be tipped to be convinced to stay at Leeds and would be a huge asset to keep at Leeds and also give Leeds a lot of strength on that left-sided centre-back role. Good competition between Cooper and Wober. And obviously with 2 players having an fairly long injury records as well, it gives you options there to move players around. And then you have the likes of young Charlie Cresswell coming through, Diego Monteiro coming through, and then anybody else Leeds can bring into the side in the next couple of months. Let's talk about players potentially leaving Leeds. And according to the Athletic, Leeds expect bids for Crescencio Somerville this summer. The Dutch under-21 winger has impressed at international level and for Leeds in the games he has played for Leeds this season. The 21-year-old is tipped to be targeted by Crystal Palace and Bournemouth should Leeds be open to him moving, but it also goes on to say that there is a very strong possibility he could stay at Leeds and cement his position in that wide position, as Leeds are expected to lose other players. Speaking about those players that Leeds could lose, and news has come out this morning that Luis Sinisterra has a release clause in his contract. As we said the other day, this isn't really news. The bulk of the players bought last year, because of where Leeds were the year before, would all have put release clauses in their contract to keep them safe from potential relegation. Doesn't mean he's going to leave. There's a fee attached to that. That fee has to be activated, and we'll see what happens there. On players that might stay, the Athletic are saying that Joel Robles is keen to stay on at Leeds for at least another season. It also states that Leeds themselves are very keen on keeping Robles at the club moving into next season. An experienced goalkeeper in the Championship would go a long way to helping Leeds to get back into the Premier League at the first time of asking. Elland, as we've said already this week, has been linked with a number of clubs and is expected to leave Leeds this summer. Let's get on to the meat of the bone here, and it's very short one. I'm not going to go through this statement because other stuff has come out since this, but Andrea Radrizzani released a statement last night apologising for relegation, saying that he doesn't make promises he can't keep, despite the fact he promised Leeds at the start of the season that relegation would be impossible, as well as promising Leeds fans that he would redevelop Elland Road, which he hasn't done either. A list of promises he's made to Leeds fans over the last 2 years that have fallen on deaf ears and have failed to materialise. The statement, interestingly, is on Acer letterhead, not Leeds United letterhead. It is signed as the chairman of Acer and Leeds United, and isn't available on the Leeds United official website just yet. So why this statement is coming out separate to the statement that came out from Leeds is anyone's guess, but it's a statement that all that seems to have done is gaslight the fans a bit more. It's a statement that appears to say that he's going nowhere. And to be very clear on this, he really does need to leave. And we'll get to another reason why very shortly. But it's not a great statement. Again, it's just, somebody said on Twitter, read the room. He clearly hasn't. The comment section on the responses to that are just the vast majority of people telling him to leave. The odd one or two people saying, you've learned your mistakes, you can get over it, we'll move forward. Outside of the Marcelo Bielsa decision, they seem to have got more decisions off the field wrong than they've gotten right. So it's a tricky one. And that brings us on to the main story today. I'm flying through this because I want to spend some time on this. So I apologize for speaking quickly as usual. But a report has come out from The Athletic today that states that Andrea Radrizzani tried to use Elland Road as a security deposit on a loan to buy Sampdoria. Given how volatile the Italian league is financially, that is a huge risk to take with an asset that should belong to Leeds United, but doesn't. I'll go through this in as much detail as I can. I will look down a fair bit, and I'm going to go slow on this as well. So we'll get into this, and we'll start off by saying the Athletic article states that Radrizzani used Elland Road as security for a £20 million bank loan, which his company Acer intended to use to complete the takeover of Sampdoria. Under the agreement co-signed by Radrizzani, an agreement in principle was reached, and Elland Road would act as collateral as part of the Sampdoria deal. This is coming from The Athletic, by the way. This is not my words. These are not my words. This is from The Athletic, just in case someone tries to sue me. You wouldn't, would you? The statement goes on to say that although the 49ers and Radrizzani have been locked in talks about the 49ers taking control, no deal has yet been announced. It moves on to say that sources close to the takeover asked not to be named for business relationship reasons, saying that the 49ers had not been informed about the stadium being used as collateral. It also says that Angus Kinnear and other Leeds United board members were not aware of this either, and this seems to be a decision made by Radrizzani on his own. The loan would have been due for repayment within the next 2 seasons. However, there is a clause stating that the proposed loan could be extended up to a decade for repayments. And we've seen this happen with Leeds before, the stadium being used when Leeds were in financial trouble. The status of the proposed loan and the extent to which it has progressed beyond the heads of terms isn't clear at this stage. Elland Road is not owned by Leeds United and is in fact owned by Radrizzani, who bought the ground in 2017 under a different company name. The 49ers are currently locked in talks to attempt to take control of Leeds, and the 49ers were only informed of this decision on yesterday evening, when they were informed about this. And it's unclear, though, if this deal went through or if Radrizzani opted for another approach. It goes on then to say the potential of Elland Road being used as security for a loan should anger Leeds fans. And in an email to the Athletic, Radrizzani said the following: what Acer Venture does with its assets, which includes several companies including Leeds United, Greenfields, Elland Road, is none of your business. It then finished by saying, the email to the Athletic finished by saying, you can do what you want, but you are just trying to turn Leeds United fans against myself. Now, I'm really angry with this. I'm really, really angry with this. Leeds are in the middle of trying to get out of under his umbrella on whatever this grouping he's trying to create with Sampdoria Leeds. And to find out that none of the board members were aware that Radrizzani tried to leverage his buyout and secure his buyout of Sampdoria by using Leeds United Stadium as the collateral and security for that. So should anything go, if it has gone through, it's not clear if that's exactly what he used or if he went down a different avenue. But from reading through this, if it did go through and Sampdoria get into financial trouble, Elland Road could be seized and used to be sold off to repay debts owed by Sampdoria, which is crazy to think that he even attempted this. On the back of his statement yesterday, and he used the word we and us an awful lot, and lessons had been learned and blah, blah, blah. He just continues to make decisions for himself and not for the heart of Leeds United. There are fans out there who have defended Radrizzani, who said he wasn't as bad as Bates. I think the likeness that was given this morning was Bates and Chelina were worse. So, give your heads a wobble. I kind of made a very bad analogy. Like, if you're if you're with two bad people, that doesn't excuse the third bad person for being slightly less bad than those two people. Do you know what I mean? It's still bad. It still shouldn't be happening, and it still shouldn't be there. As far as I'm concerned, Radrizzani needs to pack his bags and go right now. Right now. And I never make statements like this on this program, but as far as I'm concerned, he needs to pack his bags and go. This is a horrendous decision to come out. He's saying that the Athletic don't know the full story, are not in the know, do not understand what's going on in the club, but this is a mess. It's an absolute mess at a time where Leeds needed clarity and direction. He seems to be focused on putting all of his money and Leeds' money into Sampdoria. There's no guarantee even this is just me this is just me saying something out loud, but just a thought. But there's no guarantee that the parachute payments Leeds receive from the Premier League will go back into Leeds United and won't be redirected off somewhere else into Italy to help Sampdoria get back on a level footing. Sampdoria are in a big mess. They owe a lot of money, and to see things like this coming out this morning is shocking for me, and I'm proper angry about it. So if Radrizzani thinks that the Athletic are trying to turn the fans against him, his own decisions this season had already done that, which his own statement leans into. So to suggest that the Athletic are turning fans against him, most of us have already turned against him. And with the odd one or two, if you're still in the bracket that thinks just because he was better than Bates and Chelino, this is okay behavior, this is up there with Bates and even up there with Ridsdale antics as well. So this is just not an okay thing to do. You don't leverage the future of another football club against Leeds United Stadium. But as I said, we don't own the stadium. He does. And as part of the assets that he says, and again, I'll read that out again. In his email to the Athletic, he said, what Acer Ventures does with its assets, which includes several companies, including Leeds United, Greenfield, Elland Road, is none of your business. Unfortunately, it's everybody's business. It's every Leeds United fan's business. Leeds United have been in that ground since 1919. This is Leeds United Stadium. This has been Leeds' home for over 100 years. You've been here a minute. So, proper angry, as you can probably guess by this. But sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think's better. This isn't okay. This really isn't okay. I'm not all right with this. He's made zero attempt to reach out to people. The club's a mess behind the scenes, and this kind of stuff going on now is not okay. So, there's some great stuff happening at the underage at Leeds. Some brilliant stuff happening up there. We've got some really good young players coming through. We've got some exciting things to look forward to. And then there's this guy who's just taken all of the attention away from what's good about Leeds and pushing it towards more negative stuff because of his actions. So there's my rant. I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit ranty this week, and I promise I'll go back to normal, but it's just not okay. It's just not okay. But anyway, look, that's going to be it for me for today, folks. I'll see you tomorrow morning with whatever comes out from this tomorrow. So, let me know what you think. If you want to like the video, if you like the channel, you can like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.